So ladies and gentlemen, while I was editing this video, I decided to look at the timeline of when this dropped on Bounding into Comics, and it was the 20th of May 2025. But I thought, hey, you know what? This is worth mentioning because The Rocketeer is one of my all-time favorite movies, and even though this story is over a month old, it's still worth addressing DEI and ESG and how thankfully it seems Hollywood might have realized it was taking too many knocks to the head as opposed to knockers in my case, and decided maybe that perhaps we just put the DEI and all the check boxes and everything else away in the corner and, oh, I don't know, maybe start making movies again like it was the 1990s. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite movies ever from Joe Johnston, a guy who I think is very underrated, is 1991's The Rocketeer, starring Billy Campbell, Jennifer Connelly, and the always deliciously delightful Timothy Dalton as Sinclair, Neville Sinclair.
I want that rocket, Eddie. Not next week, not tomorrow, now.
And I'll get back to those in a few moments. But this is an interesting article courtesy of Bounding into Comics. I had to look up there on my screen because I'm positioned somewhat a bit lower today than I usually am from the outside heat. But goodness gracious, folks, when you see this, I mean, and this is coming from the horse's mouth himself. Who am I talking about? David Oyelowo.
Who?
Excellent!
He's a fairly good actor. He was in the BBC show Spooks, where his character actually would reset his credit rating so he wasn't in debt. It was one of those particular scenarios. But look at this headline. This is insane. So David Oyelowo admits Disney was only interested superficially for his version of The Rocketeer because of George Floyd, BLM, and DEI. Now, I don't lay credence to having come up with this. It's probably somebody like Eric July who really brought this to my attention. When you have an established white franchise that is successful, and the black folks who claim they're victimized, who don't have their own black Hollywood out there, always want to steal the white person's ideas and tokenize it.
It's so stupid for like everybody because of this whole like, you know, like minorities in Hollywood thing. Like, stop stealing, you know, all the white people's superheroes. Like, make up your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with that?
David or Oyelowo in this case wanted to tokenize that character of the Rocketeer and make it his own version. Now, the idea behind his version seemed okay, but honestly, it's not even original by today's standards. Hollywood's love affair with gender-swapped and race-swapped characters might not be slowing down in actuality, but it might have given up on an IP that's been lobbied to death to tinker with. Selma actor David Oyelowo wanted to give Disney's cult classic The Rocketeer an overdue sequel, and still does, even though it's in development hell. Okay, no, not when you see the thing about development has been stalled. No, it's in development hell. So Oyelowo is developing the film The Return of the Rocketeer because we're all scratching our heads thinking the film was out in 1991, bro. Why do we need a return? So it was going to be a quasi reboot, and he was a retired Tuskegee airman. The project was announced as far back as 2021. But it's seen little headway for the last 4 years. Oh, I wonder why. Oyelowo, who was working on an adaptation of the children's book on Yaka and the Academy of the Sun, told the LA Times recently that the reason that this project had become more of a slow to no go is that Hollywood and Disney aren't really committed to DEI as they let on. Onyeka is an absolute bullseye for what we are looking to make, but it's also symptomatic of the challenge we have, he began. We gained traction with that project in the woke of the George Floyd incident. And in a moment where there was cultural correction, no, it's not cultural correction, dude. It's all about victimization. That's all it is. I'm not going to go over that, but that kind of stuff is such a falsehood. It is such a straw man argument at this point. What are you talking about? Oh, Yellow, good grief. He began on the return of the Rocketeer at Disney, but just became another side project, which it should be. But again, what does he blame here? Of course, President Trump, DEI, and the relentless thing that presents to us right now. Everything in entertainment has to be DEI, right? You know, I'm paraphrasing Anita Sarkeesian from Gamergate Point One, where she said everything is sexist and racist and homophobic, and here now it's all about, well, everything gets stalled because it's all DEI infused, injected, which nobody wants to see. They don't want to see it. I don't want to see a race swapped version of the Rocketeer. Why should I? I actually own that film on Blu-ray, and I'm going to give it a nice opening this weekend to watch, because my golly, if you want to remember why the Rocketeer is so good, well, here's the absolute reason why. Oh my goodness.
Whose is it?
Jesus Christ, Jennifer Connelly. I mean, do I need to tell you that this woman is an absolute goddess of the screen? She was like my best kept secret for many years, because when I would walk into Blockbusters and I would see her face on a DVD or a video back then, right, when it came to the hot spot with her and Don Johnson and Virginia Madsen. I felt like I was a kid in the candy store, like, oh my God, nobody knows about this chick, but I do, and I'm going to keep her all to myself, and I bloody well wish I did. Like, grow your own Jennifer Connelly. Holy hell, man. This woman is just an absolute delight. Yeah, you can blow me a kiss whenever you want to, love. She's just absolute perfection. Look at that. That is, if you want to pay homage to the 1940s, this is how you do it. And Joe Johnson, remember in my Jurassic World Rebirth video, how he gave us the Rocketeer? He just gave us the perfect vision right here. He also directed Captain America, the First Avenger in 2011, I think it was, or 2010, with Chris Evans debuting as Steve Rogers, right? That's Joe Johnson. The man has a fundamental way that he approaches projects, gives them an old-fashioned Hollywood gloss, which I absolutely love. If I remember rightly as well with the Rocketeer, it does have some Technicolor elements in there, and this is 1991. I saw a preview screening of this when I worked at Radio Luxembourg, for crying out loud. God, I miss the 90s so much, and you wonder why I like to imbue my channel with that spirit of that decade. And the 80s is stuff like this I grew up with, man. Oh my God. I'm not even going to change screens, folks. I'm leaving it right here so I can just stare into the lovely green eyes of Miss Jennifer Connelly, an absolute treasure she is, with a set of treasures of her own, actually. Well, she used to, but she's had them all, well, slightly downgraded now, hasn't she? But you know, it's her body, it's what she wants to do. But honestly, folks, I hope this Rocketeer project with David Oyelowo, pardon the pun, never gets off the ground. It should just stay there along with Katy Perry's career and go absolutely nowhere. And if you ended up enjoying this video today, folks, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and let's linger into the eyes and thighs of Miss Jennifer Connelly until my next video.
Go get him, kid.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible. with me.